What's up, folks? It is Friday Eve, Thursday night for those who like to keep track of the days of the week. And it is I guess we'll say balmy, 70 degrees down here in Tampa, even though it's much warmer than it is right now up north. And I see Scott, Wayne, our great friends from Packers Fan Podcast, Wayne in the green room. I see that Wayne has a very nice shirt on. It might be a little Tampa-ish, the way it looks like from here, but as he gives me the no signal there. But I see everybody there in the background. Jen's on, Fuji's on, and I want to thank a couple people when we bring everybody on here, because last week, and I'd like to thank the folks that all traveled from Philly, even though it may not have finished the way we wanted it to, but either way, it ended up being a successful event. So I want to wait until everybody comes on to make sure I say the proper thank yous to everybody else. I see the comments already coming in. It should be a great night where we have the Eagles review. Obviously, for the season that the Eagles had finished up 9-8. If you take the loss from last week, then figured 99. But good things came from Nick Sirianni, so it can't be too much of a complaint. Good thing is that Nick Sirianni and Howie, Fuji's best friend, said they're going to keep Jalen around for one more year, and I think it's well-deserved that he should be back here for another year. So lots to get into. Also, Steel City Renegades, Dave and Lee will be joining us to review the Steelers season, and Big Ben finally saying that he's given up, he's hanging up the cleats, and he's done for the season. So a lot to get into tonight. Again, Scott joins us. Wayne joins us from Green Bay. It is cold out there in Green Bay, and Scott just gave us a forecast. I think he said he's got basically frozen pipes and stuff. I'm just kidding. He doesn't have it. But there's all kinds of frozen stuff going on out there because the frozen tundra will be alive and well this weekend. So with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight from the 28 states here in the United States, Brazil, Puerto Rico, and our countries overseas. Welcome all to Broad Street South. As always, the man I cannot do the show without, and I thank him and Jen, and as I'll bring Jen here momentarily on for filling in for me on Sunday, here is the Godfather, Mike Fuji. Fuji, what?
Ready to dive into that so-called press conference yesterday. Nick Sirianni and my favorite GM in the NFL, my best friend. I can't wait. I just can't wait to get into that.
Man,
into that charade yesterday.
It's going to be a lot to talk about. It's kind of ridiculous, along with something ridiculous too. What happened yesterday for 2 hours on TV, but that's another story for another different day. But yeah, it was a lot to take in. I don't know how he better step up. That's all I got to say, because if he doesn't step up, we'll find out what he's all about. So, but we are live from the LG Direct Sales Solution Studios down here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Of course, via through the Northeast in Philadelphia, which is, Fuji said it was about, 17 degrees?
No, it's not that cold. It's probably about 30, but it's going to be in the 20s over the weekend. So,
well, come on down here. It's about 70 degrees right now. Tomorrow we're getting back up to 75, and we're expecting rain, though, throughout the weekend. So still won't be too bad. We're looking at the 60s over the weekend, so it's still nice. Better.
I should have came down last weekend.
You should have. And the one you should have brought with you is our co-host here, Jen McGraw. Jen, you missed one heck of a party last week.
I heard it looked really fun, and I wish I could have been there and not here in the cold. I know it's not as cold as it is in Green Bay, but it's still cold here, and I am a summer person, so I'm just ready for the next season. I'm ready for warmer weather, warmer games, already ready for the future.
I'm ready to kick that NFL 2022 season off.
Oh, yes.
I am ready to get right into it.
Oh, am I? Because there's a lot to get into. And I can't wait until next year to see what happens. We make sure this year ends first before we get into next year. But talking about this year, want to bring on two of our favorite guys here that we follow every single season. And we had both of these gentlemen on here. Off here with Wayne, and then add Scott here to the mix. Gentlemen, first of all, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. Wayne, we see you're in good spirits here. Once again, it looks very Florida-ish. Their kind of shirt you got on there.
Well, I'm here.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having us on again. I'm here in Southern California and just got in from work. So here we go.
That's right. It's a good thing. And Scott, of course, joining us tonight. And Scott did say he is over at the Frozen Tundra, very close to it. I think he's also broadcasting there from Scott, I did think you did say you were over at the bleacher section, but in the below basement studios there.
Yeah, I'm actually in Rockford, Illinois. So we're a good 3.5 hours south of Green Bay, but it's still plenty cold here. We're about 7 degrees right now. The feels like temperature -2. So this is me getting ready for Saturday night's game. Very excited.
Will you be going to the game?
You know what? I was this close to going to the game. I had tickets and was going to be going to the game, but unfortunately, my wife got sick, and I'm not going to go to the game without her. So I'm not going to go, but that's how it is.
Yeah, it's understandable. And I can see joining in here as he popped up in the green room. If I'm looking at it correctly, it is Lee Money from Steel City Renegades. Lee, how are you this evening?
Oh, what's going on, Angel? Can you hear me all right?
I sure can. Loud and clear. You sound really good.
Awesome.
Hey, Lee,
awesome.
how are you?
What's going on, Fuji?
Sorry I missed Sunday night. I was actually hanging out with Edge of Philly Sports here down at one of the bars in South Philly doing the Eagles post game.
Nah, you didn't miss much, man. I mean, obviously, we didn't miss much of that game either. That was a 20-point beatdown. So,
It's not like the Eagles showed up either. So,
yeah,
like
bad weekend for both of us, man.
bad weekend for Pennsylvania football all around.
It
Absolutely,
sure was.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll get into it here. I see the comments again, or they're coming in, so I'll get to your comments here momentarily. But I do want to thank, first of all, Vince Rizzuto, president of Philly Sports Trips, phillysportstrips.com, for bringing the energy down here. Started on Friday with the John Kincaid show from 97.5, The Fanatic, back home in Philly. He came down with Rob Cooney, Pat Egan, and Jamie Lynch. I had the opportunity of interviewing those guys minus Pat because Pat was busy, of course, running the show. But thanks to those guys for coming down. Great show on Friday. We had Fox 29 live at Tampa Joe's, and it was fun because they were able to at least put us on camera. The 6 of us are out there early in the morning, but it was fun to be on with those guys and having fun with them. Then again on Saturday, when they did a broadcast from 3 to 5, which then Trey Thomas showed up. And it was fun because Trey was supposed to be there for a little bit, ended up hanging out until the entire event was done, and even hung out afterwards because a lot of us hung out there until about at least, I would say about 9-10 o'clock at night. So 2-3 hours well after the event was over. Tiring event, but it was fun to interview Trey and John, Rob, Jamie. Who am I missing here? The Philly Sports guy, PSG. So I interviewed him. Mike Goodwin, the owner, Vince. So it was just a lot of good people, a lot of good folks. We were expecting, I thought maybe 200 max, but we had 650 plus come through that door. So I think by the end of the night, the tallied up was about 800 folks that walked in and through Tampa Joe's. So thank you once again for a successful event weekend. We appreciate Vince. Again, heck of a way to start off a sponsorship with a brand new sponsor. So thanks to Philly Sports Trips for putting it all together. And we can't wait for them to come back again in March to do it for the Phillies weekend if Major League Baseball can get their act together and we can have ourselves a season, because I've been waiting down here desperately for 2 years now, thanks to all this COVID nonsense, for the boys of summer to come and play here. So let's see what ends up happening. But again, thanks to everyone who stopped by Tampa Joe's, Mike Gowen, Robert Puyo, PJ, everybody who was able to put it together, Michelle, Philly to South. And so it was a great collaboration. We ended up having a lot of fun. With that being said, we also know there's a divisional game coming up here with Green Bay this weekend. Green Bay in the divisional round, and we hope that they take care of business. And I say that because, as I said to Scott before we went on air, I think one TV12, if they're able to pass their divisional game down here this week, I'm just hoping that Green Bay takes care of business. If it turns out to be a Green Bay, Tampa Bay NFC Championship game. And so Wayne and Scott, one of you guys have to make it happen, because we need Tom just to get knocked off that perch just a little bit, because he's up there right now. He teased the Eagles fans after it was over. He kind of trolled us a little bit, but we hope that obviously Green Bay can pull it off. And we saw at the beginning, and I guess I'll reflect it both on you guys here. The beginning of the season, we didn't know exactly what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Finally, he came around to decide to say he's going to play with Green Bay, that all the differences they had were put aside. Whether that's true or not still to this day, who knows? But all I know is he's doing all the things that he said he was going to do for Green Bay, and obviously now taking them into the playoffs and going into a divisional game. This is one of those important ones. Again, Wayne and Scott, for you guys as far as for the divisional championship or divisional game, I should say. How does Green Bay bode for this game? And does the cold weather, as we've seen many times before in Green Bay, affect this upcoming game this Sunday?
I think the cold weather really does help, but I think what really helps this year is the fact that we can have a full Lambeau Field, and it's going to be just packed. It's going to be joyous. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a party. We're going to take care of the 49ers, and I was rooting for your Eagles last week big time, and I'm sorry they didn't come through in that game, but if it comes down to Tampa Bay at Green Bay, we got to take care of business this time. I'm really excited for Saturday night's game against the 49ers. I know some people are nervous about them, and we don't want to overlook them, but I think we got this.
I'm not quite as optimistic as Wayne is. I think it's going to be a very tough matchup. But I mean, that's Wayne. If you listen to our show, you know he's definitely the Pollyanna between the two of us. I know that San Francisco's had our number for the past few years. They've kind of been a thorn in our side, but for the most part, those wins have come in California. This time we're playing them at home in a game that matters way more than any of those past games that we've done. The Packers like to play in the cold weather. They thrive. They do better there than they do, in the southern states or even on the West Coast. I'm looking forward to the game. I still think the Packers can pull it off, but I think by no means is this a pushover game whatsoever because San Francisco's run game is ridiculous. And a lot of their stats are a lot higher than the Packers too. So it'll be a good matchup. I hope it goes in our favor, but there's a big question mark on there for me right now in terms of what's going to happen.
My take is I want to jump right into it. I know Dallas probably should have won that game Sunday. Thank God they didn't. Amen to that. But 49ers, aside, with the Eagles going into the playoffs, we're probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. And I think they got some pretty good momentum coming into Lambeau this week. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but
no.
I think the Packers got a dogfight coming this week. I don't know why. It just, if you guys, want to give us all your feedback on what you're taking the Niners is.
Well, like I was saying, their running game is insane. The pauses we got going for us this week, and I would never wish ill will or injuries on any player, even on an opposing team. But they've and I did not make any notes, so I do not have the names written down on me. I got them on my format. But there's the one defensive player that's just been sacking like crazy is out. So that's going to be helpful for us to keep Aaron Rodgers on his feet. But it's going to be containing that run, which Green Bay has struggled to do quite a bit this year. There's been quite a few missed tackles, and they've been better on secondary when it comes to defense. So this is going to be a true test to see if this defense is for real. I'm looking forward to see it, but it's going to be a tough matchup for sure.
Deebo Samuel's been playing lights out, and I'm not sure if it's Rasul Douglas that'll be covering him, but that guy is just lighting it up on that 49ers offense.
Yeah, because he's not only playing wide receiver, he's also been doing some running plays as well. Right. So he's just all over the place. He's got to be contained for sure.
He's the one guy to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners are getting a little more banged up every week, and the Packers just keep getting healthier every week. We've got so many guys coming back that I think we're the healthiest team in the entire NFL right now. Yeah. We are ready. Obviously, we can't overlook them, but I'm not worried.
And keep in mind that we haven't been as healthy, and we still had the number one record in the NFC, and we're going into the technically second round of the playoffs here. Not we obviously had the bye during the wild card weekend, but we're going into the playoffs healthier than we ended the season. So that's a positive for sure.
Well,
and
as far as God,
I was just going to say, if anybody's listened to the Packers Fan Podcast, they know that I hate the 49ers more than any other team So there's a lot riding on this game.
I was going to say, as far as the offensive side of the ball, you guys are getting a boost with, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, David Bakhtiari. Offensive
yes.
line, right. Which, multi Pro Bowl player and, is going to give a big boost with Aaron Rodgers in that running game. How would you say, Aaron, what's his name? The running back, Aaron
Jones.
Aaron Jones. How's he coming along? I know he was nicked up during the season.
Well, they did rest him pretty much for that final regular season game a bit. I think he's good to go. I think he's as close to 100% as he can be. And A.J. Dillon is the back for the Packers to watch in this game. He is built for cold weather, bash it down the middle. I think between the two of them, we don't even really need a passing game. But, it's Aaron Rodgers. We're going to have a passing game.
When you talk about that tandem, you guys have me thinking back to when, probably the 96 season, when the Packers had Dorsey Levens and what was his name? The other running back.
William Henderson?
Nah. I forget the guy's name, but it was a nice 1-2 tandem that the Packers had going into that season in 96 when they beat Dallas to go to Super Bowl and they beat New England.
Oh, Edgar Bennett.
That's it.
There you
Caleb
go.
Fisher helping us out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Edgar Bennett was just, it took a lot of pressure off Favre when they just pounded the ball, beating up on New England that year. So it kind of, like I said, that 1-2 tandem reminds me of Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Especially with how many snaps that A.J. Dillon has been getting even prior to Jones being sidelined last week. He was getting just as many touches. And like Wayne was saying, I don't envy anybody that's got to tackle that guy in cold weather. Even in warm weather, that dude is just a beast. His thighs are massive. What's they've been calling him Quadzilla?
Quadzilla.
Good Lord. Good, Booch.
As far as the receivers, Devontae Adams, Valdez Scaling, and Lazard, has been picked up. He's been a nice second, third receiver for you guys.
Absolutely.
Not to mention Randall Cobb is back too. He, not only back
Forgot
this
about
season.
Max Cobb.
Yeah, but he's been out with an injury, but he's back in the saddle this week. So.
I want to bring up a couple of people here before I turn over to Jen, but Noble Gregory, he's been down here for 9 years. You just find us. Noble, I'm assuming you're talking about Tampa, if I remember, if I'm looking at it correctly. Tom says, hi, folks. Hello, Tom and Tara. Rick, another guy was down here. Rick and I had a lot of fun hanging out basically all day Saturday. And then again, partially, no, not Sunday. Sunday he couldn't make it, but Saturday was a lot of fun hanging out there with Rick. Brought a nice banner when Trey was on. He had it in the background. So Rick, that audio download, by the way, should be available this week. So hi to Rick. Lisa, I see you. She's tuning in. And Khalib, I saw him. Yeah. So I wanted to see. He said he was from it's CCR from Green Bay. If you guys know.
Oh yeah, Caleb Fisher.
Yeah, one of our dedicated listeners writes in every week. So what's up, Caleb? It's great to see you, man.
And then I forgot about, and I didn't forget, but I want to say forget about as far as Jay McIntyre. Had a great time meeting him on Sunday. That's why I had him and Rick as far as confused, but ended up hanging out with Jay. Jay watches the show a lot. Obviously comes in here, comments. A lot of great feedback from Jay when I met him. And I can't wait to have you guys back down here. Jay, your wife, and everybody who came down. But Jay was really cool to talk to and spend some time with before end up making rounds and going all over the place there at Tampa Joe's. But thanks to Jay and everyone who came in to tune in tonight. We do appreciate it. Of course, Joey B, our great friend from Colorado, always has his funny comments in. But he's got another one. Says Scott's voice, if he reads books online, I'd buy it just to listen. Good pipes on Scott.
Hey, thanks, Joey. Actually, I do some audiobooks for my students. I'm a 4th grade teacher here in Rockford, and I record them on YouTube and put them on there. So I'll see if I can get you a link to some if you want to hear me read some elementary level books. But yeah, thank you. I'm actually trying to get into audiobooks or voice acting Wayne, right? Oh, wrong arrow. Wayne right here. Mediavoiceovers.com. He's kind of my mentor in that respect. So hopefully sometime down the road I'll get my voice in something.
Well, it's funny because when Wayne started talking that just a little bit ago, you can hear the voiceover that came out of him before he went right back into his regular broadcast voice. But you can tell it's not easy to do voiceovers because everybody believes that he can do them. It takes time to craft that well in order to be able to sell it. So we know there's a lot of people who they have the voice for it. It's just be able to put that talent together to be able to put it, to be able to sell it, put it that way. But again, thanks to Joey and everybody tuning in tonight. Jen, I'm not too sure because I want to make sure I don't leave you out here. If you had a comment other than what Joey said, if you guys heard any more rumors about Aaron Rodgers leaving.
I think
any rumors you guys have heard of are the same ones that we've heard. We have no inside track whatsoever. I mean, if I were going to throw my 2 cents in there, I think that a lot of what's happened was blown by the media. I think that the media wanted to have a story to talk about with Aaron Rodgers. Was Rodgers upset? Yes, probably he was upset, but I don't think it's as severe as everybody was making it out to be. I think that he's not going to pull a Favre and go anywhere. It's just my personal opinion. I know there's been a lot of shade thrown on him, a lot of hate thrown on him, but I think a lot of it's speculation. I think if he wins, I wouldn't be surprised if he retired. But I still think he loves Green Bay, and I think he loves Green Bay more than he hates what was going on in terms of negative controversy.
Well said indeed.
Yeah, well, we need that controversy because we need him in Pittsburgh.
Man, that was supposed to have been the big take. So supposedly, from what everything was talked about, was him and Mike Tomlin having a great relationship. And there's been times where it's been said that if he was planning on going anywhere, it was Pittsburgh was the destination first. So we'll see. There's still time left. Obviously, he can't make the decision right now. He's got to finish business and do what he has to do. But that would be interesting, though, if he does right off into the sunset, if he ends up winning at the Super Bowl. I don't think he retires yet. I don't believe so. Even if he wins it this year, I think he comes back for another year just to try to do it again. But I don't see it. The same way, they mentioned TB12 saying that if he ended up winning the Super Bowl this year, would he go out on top? And according to him, he said maybe, but he doesn't think so. I think he wants to wait until he gets 10 under his belt and then decide to call it. You're never going to listen. As much as we're not Tom Brady fans in Philly, the only difference is you will never have another quarterback to do what he's done, yet alone win 7 as far as Super Bowl. So it's tough to do, but I don't see another quarterback doing that. Not even our young gentleman over there from KC.
Angel, Dave's trying to get on, but the link isn't working.
Okay, let me see if I can send it again. So, Jen, I will turn over to you. If you had any Green Bay related questions.
She's stunned.
She may not be able to hear me. Can you hear me?
Got one hell of a lag.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? Yeah, sorry. My Wi-Fi's been crazy all night.
All right. No, I was saying, I don't know if you had any questions as far as for Scott and for Wayne.
Yeah, I guess I would say, if Aaron Rodgers, I want to play like devil's advocate for a second, because obviously, Lee would have loved to see Aaron Rodgers go to the Steelers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere, but where do you think he would go if he would go? Like, if he did decide to go anywhere, if he decided that Green Bay was not the place anymore?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. I've put it so far away from my mind as a possibility that I've not even really considered it. I mean, I've just the rumors. I mean, Denver seems like the easy answer because they've been that rumor has already been floating around, right? It's just already there in existence. Like, where would he want to go? Like, if he had an ideal place to go, I don't know. The thing is that there's going to be a severe quarterback shortage coming up here pretty quick because from what I'm hearing in the college realm, which I don't follow a lot of college ball, is that quarterbacks are coming up pretty light. So a lot of teams are going to be looking for someone to fill in that gap with players that are either moving on or just aren't making the cut. So I mean, I know he's not going to do Chicago. There's just no way, right?
Right.
That's just not going to
Right.
happen.
Absolutely.
I don't even think he'd go, anybody in the north, Minnesota or Detroit. That's just not going to happen. That's just not in his nature. As much as people like to villainize the guy right now, I don't think he has it in him to do that. Denver makes sense. I think Pittsburgh does make sense, although it would be kind of interesting considering 2011. There would be a lot of Pittsburgh fans that would not like to see Rodgers come in there, but Denver
Actually,
probably makes the most sense.
A lot of Steelers fans that are saying Rodgers.
Yeah?
It's either Rodgers or Deshaun Watson right now. Those are the two names we're hearing the most.
All right, Wayne, what do you think?
Well, first, let me say I can't see him going anywhere. I agree with Caleb Fisher. I think it's more likely that he stays with Green Bay if he doesn't retire, and we try to trade Jordan Love. But as far as hypothetically thinking, what if Tom Brady were to retire from the Bucs and they have an opening for another veteran quarterback down in Tampa Bay?
Interesting.
Good point. Good point.
But I think Tom Brady's going to outlast them all. So,
I mean, he's ageless. When they show those comparisons of him from 10 or 20 years ago during the games, it looks like the same guy. He's like the Paul Rudd of the NFL.
Well, you got to figure he is the ageless wonder, but Tom Brady also, and I'm trying to do two things here at once. Is I'm trying to get Dave connected on here so you can join the stream. But as far as the ageless wonders, I mean, Tom Brady, first of all, that health regimen that he goes through is one, I guess, where he wants to feel like he feels like he's in his 30s, even though he's his 40s. And it's a strict regimen that he has to go through: workout, food, carbs, all the good fun stuff, in order for him to be at the level where he is right now. Obviously, he knows the wheels are slowing down, meaning the legs. And he said that when the legs stop working, that's when he was going to retire, as long as his upper body keeps him healthy enough to be able to do so. Now, would it be a shocking surprise if for some reason Green Bay does win and then Tom Brady decides to retire and he goes down to Tampa Bay? That would be really surprising. I don't see it happen, but again, stranger things have happened. We've seen with other players in the NFL.
I want to throw something in there. You guys may not like this, but Aaron Rodgers being from California. Hey, there were rumors about the 49ers.
You're going to make Wayne really upset right now.
Mike.
I hate to say it, but hey, rumors swirl
don't even think it.
Hey, how about Philly? I mean, Philly's been mentioned.
There you go.
Russell Wilson and I mean, here's another thing. Everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers, but does Devontae Adams go where Aaron Rodgers goes, being that he's a free agent?
That's the wrench we need to worry about. But,
now, is it possible that tandem could go elsewhere? Not to upset you guys, but hey, free agency's March 16th.
Yeah. Maybe Cleveland. Who knows?
Cleveland.
They're not going anywhere. After we beat the Niners this week, beat Tampa Bay the following week, and then beat the Buffalo Bills on Super Bowl Sunday, it's all going to be good.
It's going to be an interesting weekend this week. I mean, 3 out of the 4 games are matchups from earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'd like to know Lee's take. Lee, if you were Mike Tomlin, right? Matter of fact, we'll chat the GM. I won't even put you on the head coach link there. If you're the GM for the Steelers and you have the opportunity, let's say just hypothetically, maybe Aaron is thinking about retiring. He just won the Super Bowl. What could you offer to Aaron Rodgers to bring him over to Steeler Nation?
with the way that this team is going right now, who the heck knows, man? I mean, now there's rumors that Keith Butler is retiring, so we're going to need a defensive coordinator. There's talk that they might be trying to move forward with Mason, the jobless QB Rudolph, or possibly Dwayne Haskins, from Ohio State. So go Buckeyes. But I mean, there's so much just turmoil going on right now in our locker room and our front office. I mean, there's even the rumor that our GM is done. So, I mean, will Mike Tomlin even be there? We don't know. I mean, what could we offer Aaron Rodgers? I do know that we're going to have one of the higher cap spaces because there's still the question on if we're going to bring back TikTok Juju. Oops, I got the dropsies, Johnson, Eric E. Drops. I mean, there's so many people that are going to be free agents on this team this year that, I mean, we're going to have a ton of money. Plus, without Ben coming back, that's $19 million we just freed up.
All right.
So, I mean, we have the cap space to pay a Rodgers, a Watson, a Wilson, any of these free agent quarterbacks that are coming. But there's also the USFL that's going to be starting up next year, and they're going to need quarterbacks. The XFL is coming back in 2023. They're going to need quarterbacks. So, I mean, like you guys were saying, the quarterback pool is just about empty at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, everybody needs quarterbacks.
Well, the USFL is kicking off the week or 2 weeks after the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, good again. And then there's a new alliance that's starting down here in the Florida area. Oh, I see Dave almost there. I see now the chair, so hopefully he can join us here. Yeah. He's getting there. There he is. I can see Dave and someone else there in the background. Is that Timbuktu maybe? It might be Timbuktu.
Yeah, he was at Studio One.
Oh, okay. So it might be Timbuktu. So let me bring in Dynamite Dave.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Right. It's about
20 minutes. Where the heck you been, man?
Hello.
Hey, listen, if Angel would send me the right link to the show.
I did.
Okay, well, I got to blame Angel. I was listening in and I was hearing Lee talk about the Steelers free agents and talking about Eric E. Drops and Joe Hayden and, a bunch of other free agents that we have coming up. Listen, by now we all know that the sexy quarterback chair that everybody wants is Aaron Rodgers, but I think that's few and far fetched that we're not going to get him. I'm hearing more and more we're not going to get him. Mike Tomlin had his press conference the other day, his press conference, his press conference, and he was saying that Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins will battle for the starting job next year, but he is not going to leave out signing a veteran quarterback or drafting a quarterback, and whoever has the best training camp and he feels is the better quarterback for the team will be the starter moving forward in 2022. So with that being said, we can get anybody. I mean, so it could be Mason, it could be Haskins, it could be here's my 5. I said it before and I'll say it again. Aaron Rodgers 1A, Wilson, Watson, Kirk Cousins, Mitch Trubisky, Derek Carr. I'm hearing too that the Steelers are that the Raiders want Mike Tomlin.
They can have him.
I'm hearing that the Raiders are trying to give some draft picks to the Steelers for Tomlin. I'm okay with that, but send us Derek Carr. If that's what you're going to do, give us Derek Carr, name Hines Ward the head coach, and go forward from there. But the Steelers, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't want to see Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback for this team. If that's the case, then we need to go throw Mitch Trubisky about $14-15 million, sign him for a 3-year deal or 2-year deal and approve a deal, because I think Mitch fits this offense and the AFC North really well. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do. I don't.
I mean, we were talking about it on the way down to Pittsburgh, and even after the game for Ben's final home game. Canada runs a more RPO style offense. Trubisky's a more RPO style quarterback. So I mean, it wouldn't. Trubisky would be a great fit. But I mean, if you can get a Derek Carr or a Russell Wilson or any of these other guys, you got to pull the trigger on it. I mean, because it's definitely somebody that might be able to get Mason over whatever this hump is that he's been on for the past few years as well. I mean, and you're going to want somebody that has that veteran presence to work with a Kenny Pickett or, you know, a Ritter if we were to draft one of those guys as well. So, I mean, it only makes sense for that.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with that totally, Lee. And we have had multiple discussions on, you know, Steel City Renegades with Angel, with Chipper, with you, with everybody else out there, man. We don't know, man. Like,
right.
Colbert is not coming back after the draft. That's he's going to be there for the draft. If I am the Rooney family, I am not letting Kevin Colbert draft my future quarterback. All the mock drafts I see, we're not drafting any quarterbacks. We're going offensive line, defense, and they said that, you know, we might sign a quarterback in free agency. And the name I keep hearing is either Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, or not Derek Carr, but Trubisky. Them are my top three names that I'm hearing.
Right.
Oh,
Hang on to all those thoughts here, because I know the guys, again, they have limited time with us tonight, so I want to make sure that I get them in before they end up taking off here. But Wayne, before you leave, there was a video that Wayne sent me, and he sent it to me exclusively. He said he got it exactly from Aaron Rodgers. So I want to play this because Scott and Wayne had actually recorded this, and I want to make sure to play it so that all the fans can see it.
The journey is important. Sure, the destination is obvious. But the road to get there, that's what makes this game special. It's the opportunity to show everyone, including yourself, just how far we've come. All the work, the dedication, the hardships and triumphs. We've proven that to get where we want to go, you don't have to go far at all.
3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
On this year's journey, we've welcomed back old friends, broken records, crowned unsung heroes, and delivered when the moment needed it. All that, this incredible journey, has led us to the second season, the playoffs. And here in Green Bay, this is when the stakes go up and the temperature drops. And that chill in the air, it stays with you, just as the memories do here in Tarleton.
Watson down the middle. Lazard's got him, and he's gone. He is gone. Touchdown.
We are proud of what this franchise has accomplished, but this team is not done. The wait is over. This year's journey is ready for its storybook ending. It's time to make some new memories. It's time for the playoffs.
The Packers with a dagger.
So there you go, Wayne.
Man,
tremendous.
I am so hyped up. That brought a tear to my eye. I still can't believe he sent that to my Twitter DMs. It was incredible. All produced. I sold it to the Packers. It's all good. But before I have to head out, I want to say go Pack go. But also, wouldn't it be amazing if Mitch Trubisky did end up with the Steelers and excelled there, just to help rub it in the Bears' face even further that, hey, maybe he wasn't the problem.
Yeah, I mean, good point.
It's pretty clear he wasn't the problem. I think Mitch Trubisky is seriously an underrated quarterback. I think he had a lot of trouble there that was not him, and
So-
he needs to go somewhere good.
So before you guys leave, speaking of Mitch, I know his father. I know somebody that knows his father. I know his father through a friend. If Mitch goes to Pittsburgh, I'm going to have him on Steel City Renegades.
Nice.
Very nice.
congratulations in
Nice.
advance, because it's
Thank
going to happen.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, the more and more I look at it, I mean, Mitch can play. Mitch can play. He's 6'4". I was watching some highlights of him, and I think that's what they got to. Also, I've heard of Marcus Mariota linked to Pittsburgh as well. So if I want Mitch, because he's a local boy, he's from the state of Ohio. He's about 20 minutes from where we're at in Cleveland, Ohio. And yes, we do not like that team that plays in First Energy. We cannot stand them guys. So I want him to come to Pittsburgh, and I want him to destroy them guys, the 2 games that they passed on him.
Well, listen, Wayne, Scott, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. We do appreciate it. Again, go Pack Go, which I always say I can't say too loud because my producer, who's a Bears fan, is always in the other room. So, which I'm pretty sure she's hearing it in the Studio B. But yeah, quietly, go Pack Go. But hey, listen, you guys, thank you. Let's hope that Green Bay does pass the divisional round, get back to the NFC Championship game, because I think it's obviously the goal since last year, missing out on it. And I believe that's where they want to be, to represent once again in Super Bowl, whether being in California and or Texas, because at this point, who knows exactly where it's going to be. But listen, guys, thank you once again. Let everybody know before you sign off where they can find your great content.
Well, you can find us at PackersFanPodcast.com, as well as on Twitter at PackersFanPod. And we would love it if you checked out the show, even if you're a 49ers fan. Check out the show. We preview the game this week, and we're looking forward. And there's plenty of room on the bandwagon, right, Scott?
Absolutely. Did you see Wayne shiver as he said that a little bit? He felt so uncomfortable saying that. So yeah, we'd love it if you checked out our show. We've been this is my second year doing Packers Fan Podcast with Wayne. He was gracious enough to allow me the chair, and I've had a blast. Third year. I can't count. I only teach elementary math. I can't do it myself. So this is my 3rd season doing the Packers Fan Podcast with Wayne, and I'm honored to do so. And just a shout out also, I have another podcast called The Gaming Outsider, where we talk about video games every single week. I'd love for you guys to check that out at thegamingoutsider.com. We put a lot of love into that show as well.
Hey,
Good luck, guys.
Can you give me the link to that again? Because I just looked it up on Twitter and it's not coming up. Packers.
On Twitter, Packers Fan Pod.
Packers Fan Podcast.
Or just Packers Fan Pod. Twitter didn't give us enough room for the whole word. So now people think we're British.
Well, listen, guys, once again, thank you so much, Wayne. We've known you now for a couple of years, so I thank you for taking the time. I know it's kind of tough to work out the schedule, but thank you once again, you guys, for coming on tonight.
Appreciate it. Good
Thanks
luck
for having us again. It was nice to meet you, Jen, Dave, and Lee.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
good
to
one.
meet you guys.
All right. Have a great night, you guys. All right. So now, getting back to, and Nick says, as someone who lives close to UNC, Mitch isn't quarterback number 1 there. And Sean says, "What's up, guys? I hope Hurts follows I hope Hurts follows what Josh Allen did with Jordan Palmer and works on his mechanics for him to be a better quarterback." You guys agree? Yeah, Sean. Well, as I stated, I think very few of us were in defense of Jalen Hurts being able to be the starting quarterback for Philadelphia Eagles, made it his rookie season, and now as Nick and both Howie stated that they're giving him the option of doing it again in 2022. Now, at this point, are you saving a boatload of money? Of course, because he's under his rookie contract. So therefore, it will make a lot of sense to leave Jalen Hurts right where he is. You have to establish him with a better quarterback coach. That's number 1 right out the gate is what you have to do. Number 2, if we're talking about on the defensive side, Jonathan Gannon, it's not the DC for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Fuji might agree with me here, and the same way with Jen, because Jen, as what we saw, that product last week, not the best product that we've seen from the Eagles all season round. And you talk about Jonathan Gannon all week long. He talked about, nope, you know what? I changed things up. I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to be much better turnaround. And it was worse than the first. So I would love to get your take as far as when it comes to Jonathan Gannon.
Man, where do I begin with good old Jonathan Gannon? If I'm not talking about him here, I'm talking about him on another podcast as well. And it feels like I said before, it feels like a broken record with Jonathan Gannon. It's every week, they're doing their homework, they're checking the tape, and they're getting better. And that might be true for, some of the easier matchups the Eagles had this season. But when it comes down to some of the harder games that they've had to face, they fell short. And it obviously very much showed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And another thing I wanted to point out, too, was on the offense. And this is another thing that I say all the time. We have the weapons. Why not use them? I don't know why Devontae Smith was blocking somebody when he should have been route running and making those completions, which we all know that he's very capable of doing. So there was a lot of mistakes in that game, which leaves the Eagles' future very, very murky. I mean, I'm very happy that Jalen Hurts is going to be the starter in 2022, but there's a lot of holes that need to be filled, and it's kind of almost starts with It starts with Jonathan Gannon leaving the link and going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's true. Fuge, you look like you're ready to explode, so let it out, Fuge.
I think Jalen Hurts is the real deal. It's just his arm. I don't know. Can he throw the deep ball? Another thing is I'm not sold on these receivers. Quez Watkins could be 3 or 4 at best. Rager shouldn't even be on the field. I mean, for Nick Sirianni to come out and say J-Jaw was an enforcer, maybe blocking special teams, he should be gone. I want to say this. I mean, that press conference yesterday to me was a joke because right now Jalen Hurts is the anointed starter for 2022. But the Eagles always say one thing and do another, just like how he had a poster of Wentz in his office. Oh, Wentz is my guy. Fell out of love with him. The Eagles always say one thing and do another. That's why I don't buy into that horse crap yesterday, because it was a bunch of BS. And hey, I think Howie's got his finger on the trigger, whether it's Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, 3 number 1 picks. Hey, you want to throw Fletcher Cox in there? 9 or 10 picks. Howie's itching to do something. The rumor Jeff Lurie loves Jalen Hurts. You love him now, but come draft day, free agency, March 16th, don't be shocked.
Don't be. But Sean chimes in, says, I'm hoping the Eagles will look into Seth Joyner as defensive coordinator if Gannon were to leave. Ray Didinger has expressed it as well, as he would bring some fire to this defense. And that would be a good one. But I don't know if you're going to take away him from the broadcast booth. I think he likes his gig. I think he likes his offseason. That man is consistently busy, but it would be good. I don't know. What do you think, Pooch?
Let me say this. The Eagles will not bring in somebody that won't deal with any BS. People always say, Seth Joyner, Brian Dawkins. Dawkins wanted to be a GM. Why do you think he resigned 3-4 years ago in the front office? Because he knew he didn't have a shot at it. I mean, these guys know talent, but, everybody always thinks the high-profile players are the solution, and they're really not. I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't be, but Brian Dawkins never wanted to coach. Seth Joyner, he wouldn't put up 2 seconds with Howie's nonsense. I mean, they're not yes men. So Seth Joyner would light a fire in that front. He should be in the front office. Dawk should be in the front office. Everybody always says these analogies, which I'm not saying they're wrong, but, it's like Lurie and Howie want yes men. And that's why Doug basically, I believe he got fired on purpose last year because he didn't want to deal with the aggravation anymore. I mean, people can be different with me, whatever, but I believe that's what it was.
I think I heard a name that was linked to your guys' defensive coordinator's position. If you guys go on a different route with that, I heard Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah, I don't think he would be bad. Angel, you and I talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, and I don't. There's certain people that could play the position, and there's certain people that can't coach the position. Now, I'm not 100% sold on Ken Norton Jr. I'm sorry. And he may have done good things for Seattle. I just don't think he's the right fit here in Philly, because I think we get more of the same what we get out of Jonathan Gannon. Again, he might, if Ken Norton wanted to do it, I think he'd do like most guys do at the NFL, where they start back at the high school level, make their way through college, and eventually get up there to the NFL if they can get up to that talented level. I don't see Ken Norton coming here and making this an explosive defense or anything else. And I think if he would have in Seattle wouldn't have let him go for obvious reasons. But I don't see that happening. I mean, that's just me personally. And because, again, he wouldn't be a yes man, and that's what he found in Nick Sirianni. I think that wouldn't happen either. But I want to get to, if I switch roles here from host to co-host with Steel City Renegades, here with Dave, Dynamite Dave, and Lee, MF and Money here. When the guys were on there on Sunday nights, and now I'm missing the show because obviously the Steelers season is over, just like the Eagles season, but we'll pick it back up again come next year. And by the way, we got some things in the works, so I don't want to kind of reveal them yet with Redline Radio. But the game last week, and listen, I know we talked about it during the pep rally last week when you guys were on with me, and I thank you guys for coming on. That was a great, successful event out there last weekend at Tammy Joe's. But I did not expect it, just like I didn't expect for the Eagles to get shellacked the way they did. But oh my God, if that's the way you were going to go out, that was the worst way you guys could have gone out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And me and Lee talked about this off the air, man. We said to each other, and we said to Chipper, you got to score 10 points in the first quarter to even be in this game, man. And they did not do that. Ben, I don't get when you're down 35-10 and it's Ben's last game. And I keep hating to preach this. You got to get a spark somehow, some way. Okay. You have to get that spark. You need to find ways to get either the offensive flowing better, or you need to look and say, hey, Ben, I'm playing for the season. We need a spark. Mason can throw the ball down the field. We want to give him a look. We want to see what he's got, especially in a pressure game, because we got our asses once again handed to us. We knew that was going to happen. I didn't expect us to win. Lee didn't expect us to win. Chipper didn't. Nobody expected us to win, except for the people in the Pittsburgh Steelers chat who called us out for saying we're not true fans because we're picking against our team. Well, you know what? If you guys didn't pick against this team since they tied with the Lions, then there's something wrong with you. This offense has not been the same since since we were 11-0. When Washington beat us, that offense has not been the same. And you go 17 games this year, 4 games last year. That's 21 games or 22 games plus the 2 playoff games, 24 games spanned where your offense is not good. And I know it's a new offensive coordinator, but it looked the same. Is it Matt Canada's problem? We don't know that. Ben is part of the problem. Ben is 45% of the problem, I would say. Najee Harris, he rushed for 1,000 yards. Also, you got to hold on to the football. When the ball's thrown to you, Deontay Johnson, they jinxed him a couple weeks ago. You have to hold on.
Johnson.
You have to hold on to the football. When Ben's throwing 5 or 6 out routes, you have to hold on to the football and allow your offense to flow. You can't just not catch the ball, especially if it's in your hands. If it's in your hands, catch the ball. Lee, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it a little bit before you came on too, Dave. But, I mean, that game was just an utter embarrassment. It made everything that, we've been hearing in this Steelers chat just sound exactly like background noise. I mean, even when we were on the air Sunday night doing our playoff preview, we were being called grumpy old men who make people's ears bleed while we were live. And it's just like, I mean,
thank them guys for tuning into the show.
Exactly. But Angel, Fuji, Jen, I mean, do you guys deal with this down south, man? Like, is this what it's like down in Philly? Do you guys get all this BS from fans for calling out the Eagles when they suck?
Nah, because I'll be real. I mean, I'm diehard to the fullest, but I'll say when I'll go against the grain. I mean, if they suck, they suck. I mean, last week they did suck. They didn't even come to play. I mean, it's just Brady took them to school, and that's what it was. I mean, love or hate Brady, give me all the grief. I really don't care. I'll tell it like it is. They stuck up the joint. To me, it's like Seth Joyner said. They didn't even look like they showed up. Were they even in the game? I mean, Derek Barnett, the first series, a damn penalty hitting Brady. 15-yard flag. Jalen Rieger dropping a damn punt. Like, this team just, I don't know. I think they just were reading the press clip and saying, I thought they had a shot. A lot of people did. But Brady and Tampa and Bruce Arians, gave them their asses, handed their asses on a silver platter. They sucked.
Well,
I don't
Bruce
care.
Arians.
I'm not a homer. I'll tell it like it is. If the team sucks, they suck, and they flat out didn't even show a pulse. They were dead.
Hey, Fuji, I'm glad you got that enthusiasm because I got the same way that I feel for my team, man, and for our fans not to see that we play shitty football for 24 straight games is appalling. If we as fans can see that, how can the coaching staff not see that and still put up with it? How can the coaching staff not see that?
You really want me to go off? I mean, you got a guy in the front office that has pictures on the damn owner that's a cap guy. What? All right, he takes his you can't draft receivers and you can't draft D-backs. He's made some nice hits, but I don't know how the guy has a job. Yeah, he brought a Super Bowl. That's 5 years ago. 5 years in the rear view mirror. What have you done for us now? You better bring the heat with the draft this year. Either go out and get a stud quarterback or draft 3 defensive studs or do something or bring in some free agents to win the damn Super Bowl now. Because we're hungry. We're not patient. We don't give a rat's ass, and we're going to tell it like it is. The man fires me up to no end. I want the guy's job, honestly. I would love to give me 10 minutes to bake this bomb.
Dave, have we not been saying the "what have you done for us lately" thing when it comes to our GM, our head coach, our offensive coordinator?
Absolutely, because I am so sick and tired of people sticking up for Mike Tomlin about, he's never had a losing season. What has he done in the playoffs? He's 3-11 his last 12 or 14 playoff games. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2017, and you've been into the playoffs not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. And you let Tim Tebow run a slant on you. Demaryius Thomas, rest of his soul, he is still running from Mike Taylor. Still running.
I'll say this, and you guys could – I don't want to rip your team, but you guys went 12-4 last year. You guys didn't even look like a playoff team.
Absolutely.
They absolutely looked like crap. Just like the Eagles going, whatever, 4-12, whatever.
4-12.
No,
but last year, the Steelers were the most fraudulent team in the playoffs coming down the stretch.
And they were
Dave and I said it.
Yeah, they were the most fraudulent team in the playoffs this year, too. I am a Justin Herbert fan. I would have much rather seen Justin Herbert in the playoffs instead of Big Ben.
Right, but the Chargers, they crapped the bed.
Well, the coach should get fired for that.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true, but listen, and I know this year, because I obviously, with you guys over at Steel City Renegades, it was surprising to me how the fans didn't want to talk about as far as Mike Tomlin, bringing him down or anything else. It makes no sense. In Philly, it's a whole different story. The Eagles fans know, and Jen can attest to this, if you are doing horrific in that first half, and they will give you the business. Whether you're at the link, they did it down here at Ray J. Just because the fans travel, it doesn't mean that they're going to stick to whatever the local fan base is doing. You get the same nonsense you get in Philly as you do down here in Tampa Bay. So for the Eagles not to pull through the way they did last week, you're going to hear it. The difference is the fans will talk about it on radio. They'll talk about it on podcasts like here, make the comments. I mean, you'll hear it all over the place. And it's because when you're a passionate fan base and you're talking about 2 cities, and the same states are blue-collar workers, not white-collar workers, hard-nosed, blue-collar workers, and they understand, they get the game, and they're not stupid by any means. And I wish I could remember which announcer had stated that if you go to Philly or if you go to Pittsburgh, they are not stupid fans. They are very passionate. They know exactly what they want, and there's a reason why they say it. So, yeah, for both teams, the way to finish up last week, the Eagles were an utter embarrassment. And Debbie has a picture. I fell asleep right by the bar because it was just that bad. And there was nothing else you could say. There were fans that were passionate, they were screaming and everything else. But it was a duller game. There was nothing to be celebratory about whatsoever. And even if they would have passed it, as I said to Trey Thomas, and I think that's why Trey didn't really get into it too much. But if they would have gotten into the divisional round, there's no way they would have beat, whether it be in Tampa Bay or Green Bay, it wouldn't matter because it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, and for them guys to sit there and say that they are happy for us to make the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that you're happy that you've seen your team get beat not once, well, not beat, asses handed to us, not 1 year in a row, but 2 years in a row. And you guys as Steelers fans who say you bleed black and gold and PSL for life, you guys are happy with that product? Come on, man.
No.
There's no way that you're happy with that product. I'm not happy with that product. Me and Lee went to the game, and Chipper, the Steel City Renegades, were live there in Pittsburgh, man, and we had a blast. Ben's last game, it was fun for all of us. But we're looking around, and these guys like, yeah, we can go to the playoffs. Why? Why would you want to go to the playoffs? Why? Stay your asses at home, watch the playoffs, get another week jump on what you're going to do, because we didn't deserve to be there. Just like Fuji said, we were 12-4 last year, the most fraudulent 11-0 football team ever to be 11-0. And for the fans to sit there and say that they want you to go to the playoffs is appalling.
Last year, the Steelers just didn't seem hungry, like coming down the stretch. They just like, all right, we're here, bud.
Yeah,
did the record go to their head? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could make the excuse that we lost our bye week because of
COVID.
And then, the 4 weeks, it felt like 4 weeks off that we had waiting for the Ravens and their one player to come back from COVID. I mean, a Tuesday night at 3:00 game. I mean, come on. Who plays football on Tuesdays? Exactly. I mean, you can make those excuses for last season, but even before the Titans game and even after the Titans game, I mean, there were games that we were barely winning. I mean, we barely beat the Cowboys with their 950th string quarterback out there.
Practice squad quarterback, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. 950th string. I mean, it was an embarrassment. But Fuji, Angel, we got business to discuss, man, because the Steelers are playing the Eagles next season.
That's right.
In Philly in the regular season.
Yes, I am coming down.
I'm a season ticket holder.
All right, Fuji, you got to find us some tickets by you.
Or you want to stand at the top of the 700 level mentality or in the lower bowl?
Hey, listen, I want to sit right next to Fuji. That's where I want to sit.
Yeah, I mean, we had Browns fans sit next to us when we went to see the Steelers Browns play, for Ben's last game and everything. But I mean, everybody had a great time. I mean, we were surrounded by brown and orange, and I'm just like, where did these people come from? But
hate to say it, but wearing an opposing jersey, it is sad.
Hold on,
people just
because now first of all, well, we won't know the times yet, but obviously it should be a Sunday game. How late in the season? Does anyone know yet?
I would say it'd probably be in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time Steelers played here was 2016.
Preseason last year.
Well, yeah, I'm going back. Carson Wentz's rookie year.
No.
It's like third or fourth week of September.
Yeah, it'll probably be like it'll be the first four weeks probably.
Well, the schedule will be out in April.
All right. Well, I will make the trip up there and we'll see if we can get some equipment up that way. That way we can do a broadcast the day before somewhere in either one of the Philly bars or somewhere else, or even if not right there from the man cave at the Fuji establishment.
As long as we're getting Philly cheesesteaks, I'm in.
Dang.
Or possibly with
I need
Philly
my board.
Sports
I need
Strip.
my board.
Angel.
What's that?
Or possibly with Philly Sports Strips.
Or with Philly. That's true. That is absolutely true. So it could end up being the case. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see exactly what ends up happening. But that would be a fun trip to go to because I got plenty of trips coming up here. One in April. There's another one. Good Lord. Up in the new studio. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Once I get to Ohio, all I say it's going to be a party up there. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, man. We got the Fireball waiting for you at Studio 2, man.
We do. We got the Piston Power Show waiting for you too as well. I mean, that's the 1st through the 3rd. So Fuji, you're more than welcome to come down with Angel if you want. Angel, pick them up on your way. Come on down to Broad Street South live from there. And also, man, I'll take you if you guys like corned beef. Angel, you like corned beef?
Yes, sir.
So I'll take you to the best corned beef spot in the state of Ohio.
Oh, nice.
Are you
Is
guys
that Lee's Kitchen?
in Cleveland or outside Cleveland?
Right in Cleveland and in Rocky River. So there's a place called Joe's Deli right down the road from the station. And then there's a Slyman's, their family, brother-in-law and sister-in-law run the business now. Mom and dad are no longer with them, but it's good. It's good.
Sounds good.
Thought maybe it was going to come from Lee's Kitchen. I was waiting for that one because I've been ready to fire up the grill something else. We hadn't do it from Lee's.
I got about a 5-pound corned beef sitting in my freezer that I'm trying to find something to do with. So maybe
cook it and bring it to work tomorrow. We need it for lunch.
Are you kidding me?
Just save it for the playoffs this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys not to rub it in. I mean, we're sitting on the same couch, so what the hell?
Exactly.
Can't beat us. Might as well join you.
But we would also like to extend the invitation to all three of you to join the Steel City Renegades on draft night because we're going to be doing a draft day special. You know, we obviously need some Eagles correspondence. And then we're also doing, I think, Dave, you said we're going to do a Super Bowl special too?
We are going to do a Super Bowl special. So the invite is open to all three of you guys to join us for the Super Bowl as well.
Appreciate that.
We're doing the same. So it might be. There should be almost a simulcast if that's the case because we're doing the same thing for Super Bowl there on Sunday. But Joey says corned beef in the freezer. Fuji will be over in 15 minutes.
Hey man, it's about an 8-hour drive from Philly to Cleveland, man. So I mean, if you leave now, by the time you get here, it should be done.
I drove out to Canton 2018 to see Brian Dawkins go in the Hall of Fame.
All I can say is it's going to be come next year. It's going to be interesting for a lot of teams. Obviously, the Steelers being one of them because I don't, and I know Dave, he's your best friend, Mason Rudolph. I know you absolutely love him as much as Fuji loves Howie Roseman. I know it. I get it. We understand it. But I just don't. I mean, him and Dwayne Haskins. No offense, both of them should be battling anything. Both of them should be gone. Truthfully, if you're going to rebuild in Pittsburgh, you might as well do it through the draft next year and get yourself at least a veteran quarterback from somewhere. If you can, even if it's at least for a year, because it makes no sense. You have, to me, and Dwayne Haskins, maybe in his own right, could end up doing something, but he started with a small bit of controversy in Pittsburgh. Then he kept quiet throughout the entire season, but the offseason is coming. And if you guys haven't noticed, there's already been about 3 players in the NFL who've already been arrested. One down here in Florida where he decided he wanted to go streaking, number one.
And he plays for Cleveland.
Yeah. Out of all places, yeah. There's been a Jacksonville Jaguars been arrested down here. So, yeah, the offseason hasn't even started yet officially, and there's guys already getting into hot water.
At least he was streaking somewhere warm. It wasn't like in the dead of the cold weather.
Well, it was in a daycare parking lot while buses were unloading children. And then when the cops show up, he beat up the cop. Yeah. So not only is he looking at indecent exposure, he's looking at resisting arrest and assault on an officer. Goodbye, you no longer play in the NFL. And thank God it happened to a Cleveland Brown.
Listen, they're talking about I was listening in on the other show and I brought this up. They're talking about this could be caused from concussions.
Oh, bullshit. He has a history of drug abuse.
And he also has a
And he
history.
has a history of alcoholism.
Yeah, he's got a history of concussions too. So if he plays that card that it was CTE, he may get another spot or shot back in the NFL. But
So then what's Antonio Brown's excuse? Because this is now the fourth team he's screwed over.
CTO
True.
or CTE.
Well, he denied it. I
Yeah,
saw
he
something
did
where
deny
he's
it.
like, he said he's fine, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
know-
you're fine. That's why you just take all your clothes off and run away from a game.
Yeah,
He
and,
did.
Right.
Go ahead, Dave.
and Angel, one more thing. You talked about Dwayne Haskins. I was watching his interview that he was talking about that he has yet to speak to Tomlin. Well, he spoke to Tomlin, and this is what Tomlin said to him. He said that the competition for next year is open between him and Mason, and they are looking to bring in another quarterback as well to have the competition between three quarterbacks and maybe a fourth if they draft a quarterback. He said they asked him what he learned this year from sitting on the sidelines watching Ben. He said that he watched how to be a NFL quarterback now and what it taught him to be the Steelers' way. He says that he went to practice every day. Yes, he had one bad hiccup this year. He apologized for that, but he said that he is laser focused for 2022 and his mind is set on being the Steelers starting quarterback. So we'll see. Me and Lee wanted him to be the starter or the backup in preseason, and he showed some flashes. Can he still do that? Can he be the starter? We don't know. Can he live up to the first round status that he got picked by Ron Rivera? There's a reason why Pittsburgh kept him, and there's a reason why Pittsburgh is talking about bringing him back. A lot of people say that Tomlin has a good eye on him and that's the quarterback of the future for Pittsburgh. That's what the talk is.
Do you know when it came down between the two quarterbacks, it comes to as far as Dwayne Haskins and Jameis Winston. Now, I will say this much. Jameis Winston didn't do well in Tampa Bay. And figure we don't want, when he would go to New Orleans, that he wouldn't be much better over there. But apparently the change in scenery made him really well prior to get injured because Jameis Winston made that one heck of a turnaround for the New Orleans Saints. And he started doing obviously much better than what he did in Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, the injury, and we'll see what's going to happen come next year. Some guys are able to come back 100%. Some guys, until they get that first hit all over again, so they can forget about it, it ends up screwing with their psyche until that first initial hit, that contact that gets them, they say, okay, I'm back in it. What I'm supposed to do. But if I had my choice between both quarterbacks, I would take Jameis Winston over Dwayne Haskins. I just don't see Dwayne Haskins being a starter somewhere else. And who knows? Unless Ron Rivera has a change of heart or something else, he wants to bring him back to DCU because DCU is going to need a quarterback, more than likely.
Not to interrupt you guys, but Ron Rivera didn't draft Dwayne Haskins. Actually, Daniel Snyder, for some reason, liked Dwayne Haskins and wanted him the year before Ron Rivera got hired.
Right. But Ron Rivera would still have to have the change of heart is what I'm saying in order to bring him back, to change it with the organization. So I don't see that happening for any amount of reason. There's so many quarterbacks in positions that are going to be open. Carson Wentz already gave up. He decided he wanted to be traded again. There should be, that should not be a shock to anybody.
Traded again?
Well, he could be on the block. The Colts owner, the Colts GM didn't commit to bringing him back.
Sure did.
After that choke job in Indy.
Let's just hope that he's not on the Steelers list or the Steelers got him on their list. No.
Well, Dave, when you mention Kirk Cousins, he's in the last year of his contract, so that wouldn't shock me at all. Especially Minnesota wanting to bring in a new GM and a new head coach. They may just cut the whole thing and start from scratch and rebuild.
Well, they'll probably send Devin Bush and a second-round pick over there. I think that's worth Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
It could. It could be. But then again, so if you're Minnesota, then are you going with a quarterback in the draft? And there's not many this year. Everybody, there's not a plethora of QBs at all this year in the draft. And come next year, it's not much. You're looking at least 2 years. About 2025 before you get a boatload of QBs that'll be back in there in the draft. Right now, this year, You're looking at defense, offensive line, a couple of good wide receivers, and some running backs. It's filled with running backs this year. But as far as your QBs, unless you're going to first top 10, you're not even getting a hidden gem Patrick Mahomes like and/or Tom Brady like in the later rounds, because there really isn't much talent out there as far as quarterbacks. So if you're Minnesota, then Fuge, what do you do at this point? If you're going to rebuild, head coach, GM gone, then who do you bring up there?
I have no idea, really. I mean, same with Chicago.
Mariota?
Could be. But I know, Sean, I want to bring this comment back up here because I know he was asking you guys. He says, with the draft coming up, Lee and Dave, I would love to see the Eagles draft Alec Pierce, 6'2", 219 pounds from Cincinnati. I see him like a Cooper Kupp, a solid wideout. Since you guys are from Ohio, your thoughts?
I seen the kid play. He does remind me of him, and he's got a little bit of Adam Thielen in him. I think that would be a good pick for you guys, and keep an eye out on him.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but I do think. How would you describe Big Ben to your grandkids who were alive to see Ben play? Phenomenal talent. On the field, obviously he had some off the field drama. And there's did he get charged? Did he not get charged? I mean, we can debate on that for decades to come. To me, I looked at the on the field, and that's the way I will always remember Ben, is giving me 2 Super Bowl championships in my lifetime, countless playoff appearances, and 18 winning regular seasons.
Here's
That's
how
what I remember.
Here's how I look at Big Ben. Whether people like to believe that or not, he paved the way for big quarterbacks like Josh Allen, these big, strong kids who got big arms, who can move around. Ben changed the game. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I don't care what anybody says. That's the truth. There's a lot of people in the Steelers chat that said that he's not. And if you think he's not and you're a Steelers fan, please go get your head checked. That guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's top 5 in touchdowns, top 8 in passing yards. He spent 18 years with one team. This guy changed the way that defensive teams play you. He also changed it how big quarterbacks come out. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. His first 11 years in the league, he was an elite quarterback, a top 5 quarterback in the league. He just didn't earn that, or he just didn't get a contract because of that. He earned that money. And that's why at the latter part of his year, he had that big contract. He earned that contract.
I may take some heat asking this question, guys. I mean, the Steel Curtain was the Steel Curtain, probably the best. To me, probably the best dynasty ever assembled in the NFL. I know Bradshaw won 4 bowls, but was Bradshaw that good, or was it what he had around him?
That's a good question.
I mean, I know it's been brought up, brought to the table, comparisons like, some people said that Bradshaw wasn't that smart, but I'm only going by what I heard. But
yeah, I mean,
him and Chuck Noll never seen eye to eye, and I know there was, stories about he took a lot of heat for not going to Chuck Noll's funeral, and I know they patched it up before he passed away, but
I mean, he's in the Steelers Hall of Honor for winning 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, that's the way I'll always look at it. I mean, was he that smart? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't even alive for that era, so I it's hard for me to speak on it. I mean, to me, Bradshaw's an analyst now with Fox Sports. He does every Fox game and everything like that. So I mean, obviously, people see something in him. He's a name that everybody knows. He's a name that a lot of people fear because of that era when the Steelers were the Steel Curtain, and I know that was a defensive thing, but, I mean, I respect what Bradshaw did. I mean, like I said, I wasn't alive for it, but I mean, I respect everything that he did for the Steelers history,
Well, just what he had: Stallworth, Lynn Swan, Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer, just to name, some of those guys on that offense.
Yeah, and he was at Louisiana Tech, and he was backing up Phil Robertson. And if you guys that name's familiar, because Phil Robertson got a contract offer from the New Orleans Saints and said, no, I'm going to play football, or I'm going to duck hunt where I can make more money. I'm not beating my brains in over here. But anyway, with Bradshaw, it shows you how him and Chuck Noll didn't get along, because they had him, Terry Hanratty, Gilliam, and they had Mark Malone in Bradshaw's years there. And every year going in, even after the Super Bowl seasons, there's a question by your head coach. Is this guy the right guy? They pull him, they'd go to Hanratty. Hanratty wouldn't play good. They'd go back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw would have a couple games that were bad. They'd go back to Hanratty. Then they brought in Gilliam. They do the same thing. Was Bradshaw a great quarterback? No. Was he a decent quarterback? Yes. Who had Hall of Fame weapons around him, who the weapons that were around him, Franco, Lynn Swann, Stallworth, got him put in the Hall of Fame because of their stats and the way the Steelers had the dynasty in the 70s. I believe that, and I will take that to my grave, that Bradshaw is not even the best quarterback, and he admitted it, in Steelers franchise history. It's Big Ben, followed by Bradshaw. But I will take the 4 Super Bowls that Bradshaw gave us. Thank you. He was the first one ever to do it. So kudos to Bradshaw.
But before we end up signing off here tonight, as Joey B says, Franco Harrison, there's a name you barely hear anymore. And Rocky Blyer was an honor to watch those guys. But Jen, I want to leave you here with the final question tonight. And I want you to think about the entire season when it came to the Eagles. And the Eagles columnist for Philly Sports Talk. Am I saying it right?
Sports Talk Philly. It's confusing.
There you go.
But yeah. One of them blocks.
But I want you to give us what you believe. If you had to grade the Eagles, what would be the grade that you would give the Eagles for the season this year?
Ooh, see, I love playing like Simon Cowell, like hard judge kind of thing. I'd give the Eagles probably closer to a C- if I'm being nice. The Eagles started out rough. Obviously, we saw for the first 8 or 9 weeks the Eagles were a train wreck, to say the least. They weren't running the ball. The defense was doing a lot of penalties. The offense was having a lot of penalties as well. We had some very, very sketchy play calling. And then things started to kind of turn around a little bit around that like Chargers game-ish. Maybe it was a game before or a game after. I can't remember. But it was around the time of the Chargers where the gears started going and things started clicking and things were going into play. The play calling ended up being a significantly better. Jalen Hurts was developing more as we could say. Offense was getting better. Defense made some kind of adjustments as needed. But ultimately, I'd probably only give the Eagles like an A or A+ or whatever if they made the Super Bowl. And obviously, that this year was not the year, but I will say that there is definitely a lot of room for improvement in the Eagles' future. And maybe that grade will go up. I don't know. Maybe we'll see next year. I guess I'm a very hard grader. It's all right though. But I do see the Eagles season being a C-, regardless of the fact that they made playoffs.
Apparently Joey doesn't agree with a couple of things here.
Yeah, that's all.
I did see that, but I want to bring this back where did Joey start right there from Bradshaw. Even a minute, the Roethlisberger's the beast, I guess you were saying. Quarterback with Bradshaw's teams are who won the Super Bowls or what won the Super Bowls. And then Rick said that Franco Harris from Cocos Valley High School, Mountain Holly, New Jersey native, which is very true. And then here come the comments, of course, when it came from Joey B. And Joey B, of course, is a Denver Broncos fan. And also a Giants fan, yeah. But he likes it. He lives out there in Colorado, so correct. A Giants fan, but listen. And he says, give him F. Joey, first of all, number one, before I leave everybody go here tonight, Joey, while you're still on, I can't believe they gave Judge an additional 3 days. What in the world would you guys think? Could you not see what the Giants fans were doing out there in the field, yelling and screaming at the cameras? And you mean to tell me you had to take 3 days to think about it? Come on, man. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. But I'm also happy that obviously, once again, And I was hoping that if I just live here in Colorado. Yeah, I forgot, Joey. That was my apologies here as far as when it comes to the Giants in Denver. But my thing is, you took 3 days to let this guy go for the most part. Who knows who's going to end up in New York? Obviously, Dougie P seems to be the front runner for the Giants. Those of us in the NFC East do not want to see that. I hope it doesn't happen. I think if there was a destination for him, I think Chicago would be better off. Maybe Jacksonville would be better off. Now that surprisingly Miami has an open position, which I don't understand that with Brian Flores. That completely blew away. Yeah, that made absolutely no sense. And so there's just going to be Joey
Hey, we had somebody here in Cleveland riding a snowmobile down Euclid Avenue to try to get to work on Monday during Snowmageddon. So
yeah, I saw that. And there's supposed to be more snow coming up maybe next week that we're talking about.
But there better not be.
Well, there's a lot. Remember,
supposed to have snow here in Philly Saturday.
No, Joey, you're not going to get Doug. I know insiders. I know people. I'm not bringing Doug to the MC East. You're not getting them. All right,
Joey B. Why couldn't you talk to Maris and the Keaton Joe Judge? Could have beaten up on the Giants some more.
They're probably going to appoint Freddie Kitchens as the head coach.
Oh God!
As long as Dallas keeps Mike McCarthy in that seat, that's fine. Well, then again, Jerry Jones, you choke every damn December, January anyway, so it don't really matter.
That's why I call them the choke boys.
That's all right.
Yeah, well, that's
season's beatings.
Well, Dallas knew they had to bow out early only because that Green Bay has been their daddy for many years, and so they decided to gracefully bow out beforehand. But for everyone, and it's funny because where I work at, across the way, there's a warehouse there. And the gentleman who works there, who's a Dallas fan, has not been to work since the loss. So, call me nuts. I don't know.
MIA.
That could be. We go at it throughout the whole entire season.
Check on him, man.
Yeah, well.
Maybe he's in the weeds.
It could be somewhere. I don't know. He could be like, what was that movie, Fuji, we just talked about not so long ago with Rodney Dangerfield? Why are you talking to the bushes? What was that?
Easy money.
There you go. Rick says, now that the Eagles are done, I can watch the Flyers keep it loose. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, you can watch that losing streak going. Yeah.
That team's not even talked about in this city.
Joey B comes back and says, if Doug becomes coach of the Giants, I demand my own win on pregame showings.
Hey, we invited you on before.
Yeah, exactly.
We invited you on.
Sure did.
You can talk about me flipping out and 15 minutes going out to Ohio for corned beef and everything.
I'm going to hold Joey to it, though, because we've invited Joey on the show before. So I'm going to hold you to it, Joey. If he becomes, get ready, sharpen up your skis there and whatever else you got to do, because at that point, I'm going to hold you to it. But listen.
Flying across country, brother.
Exactly. Now, listen, there's a lot of things coming up this year. Obviously, we started the year with a pretty good bang there with the pep rally last week. Again, thanks to Philly Sports Trips for putting that together. As far as bringing the fans down, the experience, Vince Rizzuto, that was a lot of fun. For Mike Goodwin, I know Robert Puyo was just, that poor guy was crazy busy. And on Sunday, the calmest he looked is when he passed by the camera a couple of times, but by the end of the night, he was ready to pull his hairs out. So thanks to Robert. Thanks to Mike Goodwin. Michelle Manley over at Philly to South for putting out as many promos she possibly could. To Mike Klein just being a nuisance that he was, but it's okay. I still love the man. But good Lord, was he a nuisance. And I hope you hear this, Mike, because you were a nuisance that weekend. But I love you, brother. I really do. But thanks to Philly to South. Again, for us here at Broad Street South, because we were able to put all these different pieces into place. And with Fuji and Mark Farzetta for Trey Thomas coming out there and having the chance, along with meeting good Lord, I'm drawing a blank. Devontae Smith's mom. This is what happens when it's a long day.
Mom, which was it?
Yeah, no, the mom.
So they were both in the building, weren't they?
Yeah, the dad was there at Tampa Joe's. I didn't see him over the tailgate party, but I did see his mom, Cynthia, if I remember correctly, is the first name. But I ran into her before I met DJ Matt Dodge, who was from Street Lace DJs, by the way. Thanks to streetlaced.com for also coming out there. So listen, it was a lot of people. It was a lot of fun. Rick, Jay, A couple other folks that I met out there, they said they absolutely liked the show and they had fun with it, watching it. The only thing that I would like to see, maybe come next year, we'll see, is that I'll put it up on the screens on the inside as the show begins. But I know that people like the tailgate party, so we're trying to work a couple of things on to make sure everything is good in the studio. But other than that, thanks to everyone who came on tonight. Thanks to my brothers over there in Ohio for Steel City Renegades, Limani, Dynamite Dave, Timbuktu. I think did I see him in the studio earlier?
He was in the studio. He is gone. I am at Studio One all by myself.
Oh boy. Well, Lee
Where
said
you
he'll
at,
come
Lee?
over.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a professional studio in my basement, so I call this Spook Central.
Yeah. That's what Fuji calls this place, the same thing too. Only when Howie comes down, he calls it Spook Central. That's the only time he ever calls it that.
What are you gonna call Fuji? Because I'm protected.
I don't know. I'll come up with. Hopefully, it'll be like LG Studios or
Yeah,
something like along those lines.
yeah, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, so I just call my studio Spook Central. So
Just call it the Fuji Studios.
Nah,
Call it something.
Yeah.
need Eagle's Nest or something. Something I like. Something creative. I don't know. We'll think of something.
When's,
the hell is even that?
Yeah. Eagle's Nest? Are you kidding me? No. That's all right.
It's probably copyrighted. Because Ron Jaworski's place in Jersey was called the Eagle's Nest.
Yep, I do remember that.
If that's still called that, I don't know.
I don't know.
Eagles Nest South.
That could, I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure we come up with something, but Rick says stay warm. The waitresses and waiters did a killer job. Yes, they did. And again, thanks to PJ and all those guys that went out there. L, right? Yes. L, the waitress, tall one. Yes. L. Thanks to L. And again, everybody at Tampa Joe's did an amazing job. And again, for everyone tonight, and I wish I could end it with Meek Mill, but I can't because unfortunately we are done for the season. But I'm going to save it.
Dreams and nightmares.
Yeah, no, as much although even though Brady did troll us all week long and decided to add it to his little Twitter handle, but it's okay. Yeah, all right, it happens. But anyways, thanks to
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah,
I was
listen,
going to say, what
guy.
about the Tom Brady jersey?
No, it's no Tom Brady jersey. As I keep telling you, as I keep telling you over and over again, there's no Tom Brady jersey, nor will I ever go to another parade, even if they decide to win it again, because the only parades I've been down here with is Tampa Bay. Oh, and by the way, thank you, Major League Baseball, for not allowing the Rays to do a 2-city to make them the X-Rays. They put the kibosh on that one, and so the Rays are staying down here, at least the St. Pete for now. So,
yeah, the owner's not too happy about that. I was just reading that article.
yeah, but it's okay though. That's all right. Listen, the Rays. The reason why I don't want them to go anywhere because the Phillies come down here at least once a year, if not once every other year. So we'll see. TVCS for Tony Bruno.
He meant TB.
Yep.
TB.
But-
TB or no TB12.
Yeah. No, that is true. Yeah, for TV12. That's true. But anyways, listen, again, Dave, Lee, thank you for coming on. Jen, please before I let the boys know where everyone can find them, let everyone know where they can find you and your great content.
Yeah, so you can follow me on all social media. It's at Jennifer McRaw _ Again, that's all social media. I'm the Eagles columnist for Sports Talk Philly. That's also, there's a link to it on my Twitter. And if you want to find out any more kind of content that I do for the Eagles, just look at those social media, look at Sports Talk Philly. And thank you again for having me on the show once again. Hopefully we can get back to talking about the Eagles soon, but of course, they had to go and lose. They had to go and lose this weekend, but
It's okay. Well, we'll be talking about it. There's USL football coming up. There's the
True.
Alliance.
We get the
football.
old school Philadelphia Stars back.
I think so. It could happen.
Which was the same team from 30 years ago.
It would be, but unfortunately,
And Jim Moore is the head coach.
Although the Alliance team, so they started one here before in the show, the Tampa Bay Thunder, which is, and I got to remember the name exactly. I think it's the Football Alliance something. But I know they got the first game coming up this Saturday in Dunedin High School. And Dominic Rogers Cromartie has
He
joined the
sick.
team. Has joined the
Played for
team.
Eagles.
Yeah, well, he joined the team down here, and it's basically like the guys who either are done or the guys who didn't make it professionally. They're going to be down here, so I'm hoping to get those guys on here probably within the next week or so to see what happens. But Columbus just beat the Flyers 2-1. Keep it going, boys. Yeah, the Flyers are just on a bad roll. But Dave and Lee, please let the people know exactly where they can find you guys as well.
I'll let Lee lead.
Okay. Well, actually, tomorrow from 4 to 6 on Redline Radio LLC on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Pretty much if it's social media, we're there. Twitch.tv. Money's Crazy Mind will be live. We'll be talking about family annihilators and the psychological belief behind them. And I even found a couple female family annihilators. So check that out. Money's Crazy Mind every Friday night from 4 to 6. And then also when Steel City Renegades returns, I'll be live. We live 7 to 9 every Sunday. That's about it. You can follow our Facebook page, Money's Crazy Mind on Facebook. I think it's Money's Crazy Mind podcast. And then also Redline Radio LLC. Dave, your turn.
All right, so you can get me on all social media aspects. I am on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Dynamite Dave Wallencheck. Also, you can find me on the Redline Radio LLC page. Also, our Redline Radio Studio 2 page. Redline Radio graphics that we're doing. So if you know anybody needs any graphics, let us know. We can do that. Stickers, banners, much more. You can catch me Friday nights from 6 to 7 on The Scoop. I do my own show. I have the Start a Show coming up next week. My former co-host, we'll get back in touch with him, see what he's got going on this week. It'll probably just be me talking. I've got a few things I want to talk about. I haven't done a show since we were kind of temporarily set up in the studio. I was a little smaller underneath the desk because we picked out the wrong chairs the first week that we were up there. Now we got the big chairs, 360 cameras. So we're doing some things. Make sure you guys check us out on all social media aspects. Steel City Renegades. If you haven't went and liked the page, please go do that. Also follow us on Twitter at Steel City Renegades. I run that page. Redline Radio LLC. Redline Radio LLC Studio 2. Man, that's a mouthful. Just you can find me just about anywhere. Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. We're there. I'm always posting about shows and whatnot. So just follow us on there.
Now, wait, you guys forgot one key element.
Oh, Broad Street South.
No, other than that, Redline Graphics.
Oh, yeah, Redline Graphics.
Yeah. I showed my hat.
I know, but see, you got to mention though, because it started there. You go, now it did a better job. The first time it looked like a ghost because it faded out. So better job this time around. But listen, thanks to my producer Debbie, who's feeling a little bit under the weather, but we hope it gets better. Same way with Nick.
I hope you feel better, Debbie.
Yep, absolutely.
But Nick as well, and Nick's feeling a bit under the weather. And by the way, our video productions guy who lost a friend over the weekend, I know they were having the Zoom visual today, and I hope everything worked out. God bless the family. I know losing a friend and a loved one is always tough. And also, don't forget, if anyone is ever going through any kind of mental health issues, always reach out to someone because someone is willing to listen. But make sure you get the help as best as you possibly can, because there's a lot going on in this world. It may not be the best, but make sure you always reach out to someone. For Fuji, my co-host up there Northeast, Fuji, thanks for coming on.
Angel, can I say something before we sign off?
Yeah.
Okay, Redline Radio family lost somebody today. Jean McKnight, a big supporter of Redline Radio. She lost her battle with cancer today. So thoughts and prayers to her family. And thank you for being a supporter. This world lost a great person today.
God bless. It's 2022, man. You talk between stars, comedians, people. It's amazing. We're 20 days into the brand new year, and it's amazing how many people we've already lost. It's just incredible. So we just hope this world gets a lot better.
Did you see that the guy that played Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal Rising died yesterday too in a tragic skiing accident in France?
Yeah.
Just signed on to do the new Disney show Moon Knight as well. He was going to play the villain.
Yep. It's incredible. I'm telling you. I don't get it. I
He's my age, man. I mean, how do you think I feel about that? He's my age, and I'm just like, eh.
It's amazing. This is why you enjoy the moment. I say it all the time. Enjoy the moment. You are not guaranteed tomorrow. So enjoy it because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But listen, again, thanks to everyone. Thanks to my sponsors, TamaJoes.com, Tama Joe's, along with BigSargeSports.com with our special partnership down there in Houston, Texas, along with LGDirect.net. If you guys need credit card payment solutions, your terminals, apparel, make sure you go to LGDirect.net and, of course, PhillySportsTrips.com. You guys want to travel with the pros, please visit PhillySportsTrips.com. Look for the one in March, along with other trips I have on there as well. But the entire gang will be back here again in March. So everyone enjoy the night. There could be possibly a playoff show, so make sure you pay attention on the BroadStreetSouth.com page, also on the Facebook page so you guys can see. But for everyone tonight, we hope you enjoyed the rest of your evening. Stay warm, and we'll see you very soon.